Dewey,
Hello there.
welcome to episode 1 of Grande podcast.
Bold of me to assume there'll be an episode 2.
Very bold.
True. This probably won't go to episode 2 depending on how good this goes. If it goes well, I don't want to do it again. If this goes poorly, then I definitely want to do it again.
Oh, I'm having the best time already, brother.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean,
Now I can say that I've been on a podcast.
well, 3 seconds of it, you know?
Yeah, bro. Elite.
Elite.
So what are we doing today?
Well, we're gonna have a guest on shortly. I'm just getting the intro done and out of the way until we tell him to join.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, dude.
That's madness.
So, should we invite him before we introduce him, or should we? I'm gonna invite him before we introduce him. So, let's get
Okay.
him, let's get him into the channel.
I'm just warning the 2 people that will be listening to this that I'm doing homework while I'm doing this.
I'm pretty sure if I announce it, people will join. How many viewers have we got so far? Probably 0, which would be expected.
The perfect amount.
The perfect amount.
About the amount of people I want to have hearing my voice.
Yeah. See, so far we have 0 viewers, which is dank. That's perfect.
Perfect.
That's what we want. But
If my laptop wasn't broken to fuck, I'd use my laptop for this, and then I'd go on TikTok and be like, come watch me on a podcast.
what is up with your TikToks, by the way? Like,
My TikTok slap.
no, I know they slap, but why is the quality so bad?
Oh, no, first of all, like, TikTok is just horrible with carrying over quality. Like, you'll watch a video one day, and then the next day it'll be worse.
Hello?
Cameron,
He's
Hello.
here.
do you have a pair of headphones or something? Because it's looping through.
So should I swap to earphones or headphones?
Whatever stops the repetition of my voice.
Okay, wait, give me 1 second.
Joe Rogan is quaking in his boots.
Hello? Is that better?
Can we speak?
Can we speak?
No, we can still
hear us.
In fact, it's worse.
Yeah, I don't know what.
I don't know what you did, but
I love how Luke
I don't have
changed the
anything
quality
in
of my TikToks. Meanwhile,
Hey, listen. Okay, everything is going real smooth.
you're perfect, bro. Crystal clear.
Cameron,
Clear.
put yourself on push to talk.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so,
Stuart actually declined it.
Wait,
It's mainly for my own sanity.
yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So, first guest onto the podcast, Mr. Cameron, aka Captain Foxxy, I guess. Welcome to the podcast, my dude.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. It's been a long time since we've had a conversation. You know.
It has indeed.
Yeah,
Been a
this-
fresh minute.
Yeah.
I've never had a conversation with you. Hi.
Yes. This is.
Hello.
So, Cameron, this is our friend Ian. He's a massive fuckboy, but we love him.
Oh, fact.
Yes.
My answers are well
I see.
known.
He is the current co-host, but soon to not be co-host because this man's got better shit to do than host. the shitty podcast.
Like my homework.
Yeah.
Hence why he's doing his homework right now. And then obviously Uber, Stewie.
Yeah, I know, Stewie.
Yeah. Okay. Cool, man. So I guess I should introduce you to anyone who's listening who isn't your friends and know you, which is probably going to be the majority of the viewership. But anyway,
I did promote the channel on all my social media platforms, and I have got a few messages. Why has it not started yet?
yeah,
That is so sweet of you.
thank you. But
Go.
just for like basically Maple, who will probably not understand who you are. Essentially, Cameron was someone who, back on the good old Xbox days, back in 2016, when everything was good, when Trump was getting elected, and Hillary was memeing on fucking everyone.
Yeah, because we all know that was the best time.
That was the best. I mean, have you not noticed that 2016 has come back? I'm just saying, Cameron.
Yeah, it's way worse.
Xbox, it's so much worse in 2020. Anyway, so Cameron was part of our group, our squad, our phase clan, if you will. And,
wow.
And yeah, he was a member, a very at one point core member, a very interesting member, always entertaining, not always in the best ways, you know.
Of your cult, yeah.
Of our cult, yes. Very controversial member. That was the main one.
Oh, really? That's surprising, given some of your opinions.
The fuck is that supposed to be?
I mean, 99% of your friend group is problematic in some way.
No, you listen here.
No, I'll just wait 1 minute.
Alright. So I'll just continue the explanation of who Cameron is.
His biography.
His biography. I met Cameron personally through an Xbox party, because, you know, the good old days. And I remember there was just some guy in the call who was just, you know, just randomly yelling, like, do a barrel roll constantly, like, all the time. And I was like, why is this guy making me laugh? Because all he's saying is do a barrel roll, but I just couldn't stop laughing at it. And to be fair, it was pretty funny at the time. So I decided to talk to this guy, got to know him, and you know, through him, we have met some core members of Grande Bolas, you know, Cade and Cameron, they know each other, you know, they know each other IRL. In fact,
I love Cade.
They are / were / could possibly still be / possibly never ever again friends, you know.
I mean, I would love to have him on my podcast when I started, but I've been told no quite a few times.
I saw. I can understand where he's coming from to an extent, because, you know, for some reason he fucking hates you, which is something I do want to discuss in this podcast. But
I would love to know the drama.
We will get to that. But first, I just wanna talk about what happened between you and like our group, because basically it was pretty much like one day you just weren't there, you know. It was just like, you know, Cameron's gone, and that was it. I mean, I know you moved to Xbox One or whatever you moved to, and we all moved to PC, but like you just still disappeared, because who got an Xbox One as well? Was it?
That was me.
Yeah, Uber got an Xbox One as well, and we didn't have Uber for the longest time, Stewie. And, you know, he still managed to find his way to PC to us. So, do you want to explain on your part if you can remember what happened? Because, to be honest, I don't really remember what happened.
So, if I remember what happened, it was... So, at that same moment, and at the same process as when you guys were, like, starting to move to PC and I was starting to move to Xbox One, at that moment, I was getting stuck into school, stuck into other projects, stuck into a lot of artworks and stuff like that. And I was like building a more social life at school, and I started forgetting, like, well, not forgetting, I would say I was like starting to lose interest, but not, I wouldn't say, that sounds really bad. I was like, I don't blame you. I was just getting too busy to be online all the time, and I often forgot, and it's not like I did it on purpose, but it was just how my life was going at that point.
Yeah, okay, that does make sense, because I mean, there's people who I knew from Xbox who I probably couldn't even name to you, because, you know, they just drift away. So that does make sense that you drift.
We all had Halo 2 buddies.
Yeah, we all did have Halo 2 buddies, but there was one thing that I do remember towards the end of it. This could all be like a bad memory of mine, because I do have a tendency to remember things that didn't happen. But to my memory, there was a lot of controversy between, let's not call it controversy, let's just call it fighting between you and basically everyone in the group. And I don't remember what for, but I do remember it had a lot to do with GTA heists. I think that was
from if I remember this correctly, because it's still a while ago, so my memory might not be too good either. But from my memory, there was a lot of controversy because a lot of my opinions started changing and I started becoming different from everyone. At that stage in my life, I would say I was very radical in my opinions, and my view on life became very radical. And it's quite substantially dimmed now to what it used to be like. But at that point in my life, I'd say that's the peak of like radicalism. My religion was at that peak at that point. I was trying to figure myself out. But like that's probably my opinions and my new way of thinking probably distanced me and caused a lot of conflict between me and the group.
Yeah.
To be fair, I thought he was just talking about you chucking yourself off cliffs at the end of heists.
That too.
That will actually probably live on in my memory forever. We had just finished Prison Break heist, and we'd been trying to do it for like 2 hours, and you decided I'm gonna jump off of the cliff twice and kill myself and just fucking not finish the heist. Let's not get into that. I could rant about that for years. But as you said, you had a lot of radical ideas and you had a lot of changes in opinion, and you say now that you're more subdued in terms of your radicalness. I guess that's a way of putting it. That's something I do want to touch on, because you have made some questionable and sometimes controversial decisions in your life, and I want to hear about them from your point of view, because obviously I hear about them through Cade, and as much as I love Cade, I do think he has a massive bias against you, which means I want to hear the full story. So if you wouldn't mind talking about this, the first one I want to talk about is because when I remember you from Xbox days, and it's nothing to be ashamed of, I was probably exactly the same. We were all probably like, very cringe Le Pepe Frog, Le Donald Trump memes, hashtag
Indeed.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, we were all probably around then, so that's kind of where you were at as well. But then I do remember there was then a change where it almost seemed like one day you woke up and all of a sudden those jokes weren't funny. In fact, they were intolerant, and I was like, wait, this is fucking weird. This is not the Cameron I know. And then I remember maybe somewhere in the next year, like 7 months, 6 months down the line, I remember hearing from Cade that you had a girlfriend who was transgendered. And I remember thinking, that's pretty cool. That's good for him. He's got a girlfriend and she's transgender. But there was something that like surprised me about it. There was a couple things. One, it was you. I was like, oh, that's kind of odd. I wouldn't have expected that from you. Ian, yes. Ian dating a trans person, 1000% yes. Uber dating someone is a surprise. If it's transgender, it doesn't really surprise me more than it just being a normal person. But for you, it did surprise me. Not that I think you have anything against him. It's just that's not where I saw you going at all. And another thing with it was that she was your best, was a friend of yours prior to that, or the way you described it to me, I believe, was like a very close friend to you who then transitioned and then you started dating. Do you want to explain that? Like, because
that makes sense.
I was just so confused about it because there wasn't a lot of like explanation from Cade, and so I came to
Okay, well, let me explain this. So I'm not gonna give their names, but I want to disclose their names. So he was a friend of mine since I started playing video games for like a very long time. I think I knew him before you guys, but so he did the transfer over, and we just had that really close relationship where we could start dating. Now the relationship has ended. It ended very poorly in very bad situations. I know now, don't date your friends, especially those you hold close to you. That's just a bad idea. But that relationship for me, I realized now, was a very toxic one. Was a very not like I didn't know her, who used to be a he. Like I didn't see it when we were friends, but when we were dating, she was a very toxic and like a very she always was against me kind of person. She was never with me. She was never supportive. She was always against me. And I mean, I've tried to connect her and talk to her recently, and I haven't got a reply. So if she's listening, I would love to talk to her about it. But like, maybe she's changed. But I realized that the relationship was not healthy for me at all, and it put me in such a bad mindset. It made me so defensive and aggressive all the time that now looking back on it, I'm like, wow, that was a really awful part of my life. But I'm thankful that it happened so I could learn from it.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel that. I think we've all, well, apart from Stewie, we can all relate to a relationship that probably wasn't the best.
Yeah, I've had those. One.
You did have that one girl. I do remember. We won't disclose names because you didn't know her name. But
Oh, funny.
anyway, so with you saying that like she was toxic or whatever, and you saying that it ended on a poor note, how how did that come about that you just decided to date what was this who was essentially like your friend? Like did you have feelings towards them when they were male, or was it just a realization that another female we had a good connection, that it was like, this is okay, I'm perfectly fine with this, like was there no like awkwardness in the fact that you knew that like they used to be, I don't know if I'm being like ignorant. I mean, Ian can tell me about this, but so far as I know, I like if my best friend now were to transition to female, I would definitely have to think that it would be awkward for me to then go and date that person.
It can be.
Of course, it can be, just for me.
Because like you can still attach a lot of the part of their old self, in a sense, to them, which they wouldn't really want, and they could resent that.
Of course.
If I was, let me explain it. So it's a combination of both. That I only saw the positives in her as a friend, and we would only online friends. Like when we dated, we met in person quite a few times, and that's when it fell apart. But I was still discovering this at that point. But now I know that I'm bisexual, and I have preferences for both. And that's why I realized that. I didn't realize that then, but now I do. That's why I was able to look past the gender difference. That she used to be a man, because I really didn't mind that she used to be a man. Now that I think back on it, that it's because I was bisexual at the time. That's the main reason, but also because I attached all the positive like memories and things I've thought about her who used to be a he, and that's all I saw until like near the end, when I woke up. I basically woke up to like, oh fuck, what have I done?
Yeah.
What I've lost part of myself for something I don't want.
Oh shit! I feel that actually. I feel that big time. I mean, that's actually really interesting that you're bisexual. I mean, Ian is probably the president of the company when it comes to being bisexual.
I am.
Because
I'm the CEO. I make all the decisions.
But Ian is as bisexual as it gets. I don't think there's ever been someone more bisexual than Ian.
And I get where you're coming from, where dating someone that's transgender can be a lot easier for someone who doesn't really have a distinct preference between two genders, because you can understand both. The whole thing is like, hopefully if they identify as a girl, because she is a girl one way or another, you're still interested in her as a girl and not as what she doesn't really want to associate with anymore.
Our relationship wasn't really sexual, it wasn't sexual for me at least. She attempted to make it sexual, but in that relationship specifically, I was not interested in like the sexual side of things. So their gender preference was not a huge impact for me. It was more like I was more attracted to her personality and her feminine side that she was displaying even before she made the decision to transfer over.
Oh yeah,
that makes sense. Okay, No, because so because I remember talking to you about this back in, would it be 2017, 2016 even, and I do remember you, like, I asked the question if she had fully transitioned, and you said something along the lines of, I had asked if she'd gone, like, if she's post-op, and you said something along the lines of, yes, I've seen enough of her body to tell you that. And I was like, oh, so it's because I didn't specifically ask for the sexual, but, anyway, that doesn't really matter. Just interesting that it wasn't actually a sexual
Just to
interrogation.
clear that up for you, I didn't want it to be sexual. I didn't have any interest in her sexually. It was like more of a I was more attracted to her as a person than as something sexual for me, which is a lot
100%.
of relationships, especially now. But she wanted it to be sexual, so I got a lot of like pictures from her, a lot of enticing messages and voice notes, but I wasn't interested in her like that, so that's why I've seen that.
Completely get it, man. We all have a simp in our lives at some point.
Well, I mean, hey, if you're not physically interested in a relationship and she is, then that makes sense that it didn't work out. That's okay.
Yeah. Cool. I'm glad that's been cleared up. So
I'm happy to clear it up for you.
thanks, man. So obviously, I wanted to go back to this. So obviously, I found out that story, and I found out everything about you essentially through Cade, and now we know in Grande Bolas that Cade is not he doesn't stand you at all. He's not a big fan. He's not a big fan of you, Cameron, and it's I don't want to say it's almost a shame because of how good a friendship you had, because let's be honest, when we met you and Cade, there was never really the best relationship. It's always been a bit toxic, but it seems like every single day it just gets that little bit more and more toxic. So I want to know from you how much you think of a reliable source Cade is, because obviously Cade is our friend. I trust Cade to pretty much any degree, because he doesn't seem like the type of person to deceive, because he's not even the type of person to tell jokes, so how much of a reliable source would you say Cade is on your life?
Okay.
We can all hear you flipping through pages, my dude.
Okay, and
like, I'm sorry the podcast is that boring that you have to do like your own ass shit, but like
my homework, man. I'll be quiet with the pages. I am listening.
Of course.
I'm very intrigued.
So first of all, I would like to send a message to Cade that from my point of view now, I don't want to be his enemy. I actually want to fix what we've messed up. I have made attempts in the past, and I would like to meet with him, talk with him, see what exactly the problem is, and see if we can fix it and rekindle a relationship, or at least be on neutral terms. Because I feel like I've messed up a bit in the past when I was talking to him. Like, I used to purposely make him angry sometimes, but at the same time, sometimes he would do things that would make me angry, and then I would get upset, and then he would get upset that I was upset. But in terms of reliability, I for a while, for the longest time, I would believe Cade was a truthful source. I don't think he would lie. I don't even think he'd really lie now. But maybe from his point of view, it's a bit more skewed to his side of the story. But like from sources I've heard from mutual friends about events that I've been with him in, and things that I've heard he said through a mutual friend, that Cade has tended to bias some of his stories and some of his facts towards himself. That's not a hit against him, but I'm just saying that from what I've heard from a mutual friend, he does sometimes, probably not on purpose, but like unintentionally bias things towards himself.
So where would you say that comes from? What was this? What happened? Like, what is your side of the story?
Well, okay, if I can jump in, there's a constant, since I've known both Cameron and Cade, they've always had a little bit of a, they were in the beginning when I met them, they were friends, right? And I probably wouldn't have considered them that close, but they were definitely friends. They definitely enjoyed spending time on Xbox together for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But there was always about that 20% part that was just completely toxic, and just as it went on, it just that like 20% grew to like 25 to 30 to 40 to the point where like now it's at like 95%, and like Cade is pretty much unwilling to like even mention Cameron's, like it is Voldemort type beat up in here. Like it is quite funny. Like I don't know if you've noticed because you don't see the group chat that much, but like even me saying that I wanted to have Cameron on the podcast was like, why would
A point of contention.
He was even like, why would you want Cameron on the podcast? I'm like, my dude, he's like one of the most interesting people I know. So, you know, I was like, there we go.
Well, I mean, like, why don't we have Cade on to squash the beef?
That's
I would love to do that. I'm being completely honest here. I would love to figure out what's going on with me and Cade, because in all honesty, I like to like play with him a bit, like when we talk on group chat, just to aggravate him just a little bit, because it comes from our competitive and how we used to be. I used to be like that as well, but he used to find it funny before, and so I got used to him finding it funny. But now he just finds it really annoying and pisses him off. But now, like, I'm so used to doing that with him. That's kind of the relationship we used to have, that I'm like, that's where I am now with him. But I would like to change myself. I would like to change our relationship. I would like to squash the beef. I would like to fix what we've broken, essentially. I'd like to bury the hatchet with him.
Oh shit, we got good guy Cameron up in here. What the
That
hell?
sounds really good.
This is good guy Cameron. What's going on?
And if it goes well, we all feel good about it, we're all happy about it, and we can move on. And if it goes bad, then I get to sit back and listen and have a really good time.
And it's content.
It's
content.
definitely gonna be the best content we have. Yeah,
That could be episode 2.
No. Let's not. I wanna portion out my Cameron, especially my Cameron with Cade. Like that needs to be in like you don't want like the whole box of Wheat Bix in one bowl. You know, you gotta spread it out.
Damn. So episode 1 Cameron, episode 2 Cade, episode 3 the collision.
The collision. I like that. We'll have Cade on next time. But I mean, there's not much to talk about with Cade because Cade is like we know Cade.
We love Cade.
I guess we could then take Cade's side of the Cameron story, and then we just have.
From my point of view, I'm done with my homework. By the way, I really want to hear what happened from both sides, like how it started, like not just general. I want to hear like the nitty gritty. Also, hate to pause, but there has just been an announcement. I think lockdown's been extended for 2 more weeks.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Perfect.
That's great.
I've actually heard things. Some people are estimating that this could actually go on for the rest of the year.
Sounds great.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, I'm one with Cameron on that. Let's really hope not.
Yeah, I mean, wait, Stewie, your lifestyle hasn't changed.
It's not that. It's just where's the money gonna come from?
Yeah, exactly.
Fair. That is fair. The money is running out. I mean, like I
just want my coffee, to be honest.
Go get your coffee. You don't have to be at the whole.
No, I want like outside coffee. I don't want inside coffee.
Yeah,
Dude, I just got used to college, and then they were like lockdown, and I was like,
shit.
Oh, shit. Okay, so that is actually something I wanted to ask you. Did you went to universities, college this year?
Yeah, I do go to the college in Durban.
That's cool. What are you studying?
Yeah.
I'm studying a Bachelor of Arts, which consists of the subjects of psychology, journalism, English, publishing, and what's it called? So I'm basically trying to be an English teacher or a
That's cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
You seem like an English teacher.
I don't know how someone seems like an English teacher.
I don't know. He reminds me of the history
teachers,
/ English teacher kind of.
Of all the
personality.
English / history teachers I've ever had, Cameron is far from that personality group.
Well, I'm talking private school, baby.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, us public school gang, we don't know what it's like to have a sane English teacher. Every single English teacher I've ever had has just been actually fucking nuts. Like
that's me with Afrikaans.
But I don't mean like they're just like angry and old. I mean like they believe Harry Potter is a real thing, kind of.
That's cool.
yeah, shout out to my old English teacher, Miss Moran. I hope one day she hears this.
Oh, we're using real names.
And one day she hears this and she can actually like fucking get in contact with me because I
Yeah, because
she was the
as we
best.
all know, this podcast is gonna pop the fuck off.
Yeah,
100%.
Everyone's gonna hear it.
Breaking.
Bro, fucking Kanye West is gonna be tweeting about this podcast in 3 weeks. Just give it time, okay?
If we ever decide on an actual theme, we can actually make it like a proper podcast on like Spotify.
Dude, I have ambitions this year. If everyone's gonna be on lockdown, people need entertainment, and PewDiePie is
Literally.
gonna get boring. I'm just saying that real quick.
Can we do
Anyways,
true crime shit?
speaking of entertainment, anything. Cameron obviously has a YouTube channel, Captain Foxxy.
Yeah, I did. So,
You're welcome for the plug, even though
thank
you
you.
kind of plugged us
Thank you. Thank you.
So, just so I know that like probably it's always been an ambition for you to try making content on YouTube. It's always been a thing for me where I've wanted to. I just never have the fucking energy or mind in the right mindset to sit down and edit a video for fucking 6 hours. So
Yeah, we've all been there.
What's your inspiration for it? Like why have you just, apart from obviously quarantine and there's literally nothing better to do? What's your motivation?
So my motivation for being a YouTuber is that I've always loved watching gaming content, reviews, podcasts, and I've enjoyed all of it, and it's got me through some really hard times. And I believe that I'm hoping my content will be able to do that for some other people and take some other people out of their hard times and into this video that I'm recording for them. And I really enjoy making videos and I had some fun after I made my first video and then the second one, and then it kept going on and on. I really have fun making them. I just started editing my own videos. I have had it edited for a bit. That's going fine. And I'm really enjoying the whole process. And I don't have like some set content yet. I'm just making what I want. I do have some stuff coming down the line, but I've met the right people for art, for editing, for music, and I felt like now is the perfect time to put all those connections together and produce this channel. And I know a lot of people, and I know people who know a lot of people, so I can distribute my content to people who want to watch it, to people who need it, to just people in general.
Yeah, I mean,
That's really nice.
because I mean, like I watched your first video, the one where you introduce your channel, and as far as like, because I don't know if you've uploaded anything before, which I don't think you have, but as far as essentially a first video goes, that's pretty fucking good. That was a pretty, like, I thought like an introduction
thank
video
you.
to the channel. I'm not, if I'm being honest, I was going in ready to cringe, and I came out of it happily surprised at how like well and comfortable you seemed with it, especially for your first one. And like, I'm not gonna say it's perfect because it definitely had its flaws, but you know, it was really good as far as first videos go.
Yeah,
Hence why I invited you here. I was like, damn, well, he's clearly into making content. It's almost motivated me to start making my content as well.
Not gonna lie. Also, same. I've been heavily considering getting back into my stuff ever since Cameron started uploading. So Cameron is the inspiration around.
well, that's what I want to do, dude. I want to inspire people. I want to help people. I want to do it with my content. I want to have some fun, and I can only get better from where I am now. And I just want to make things better in my channel. If anyone got any feedback for me, please hit me up, comment it. I'm always open to feedback. So I always want to make changes to improve my content for my viewer and for me, to make it more fun for me, to make it more enjoyable to watch for my viewer. So that's why I always am welcoming feedback and making changes constantly to my videos. Like every video you watch will have a change, it will get better, it will be different from the last one. And my last video is always my best one because it's always got the most changes in it and it's got the most viewer requested things in it. So I also try things out so I can see what works and what doesn't. And it's all about experimentation and just trying different things to see what sticks to the wall.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That's cool. I mean, so far I'm not gonna lie, I'm not interested in what in the game in which you're producing, it's solely a personal preference. I have no clue about what that thing is. Was it Seven Deadly Sins?
Yeah. But I am trying to diversify my gaming content, and I'm also going to be producing reviews in my own podcast at some point in the future. There's also a lot of people don't know this, but there's also an animated cartoon that me and a few people are producing down the line for my channel.
Oh shit, that's pretty cool.
That does sound pretty interesting to watch.
I'm definitely watching that.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching the fucking Captain Foxxy animation.
Someone should animate this.
Yes, I want someone to animate this podcast right now. If I can just go back, Uber, no one wants to hear you read fucking fan fiction, okay?
Look. Content is content no matter how bad, okay?
I would love to hear his fan fiction.
Have you not heard? No, he doesn't read fan fiction, he reads creepypastas. Have you not seen
And poems!
Oh, I love that.
It's actually cringe as hell. I love it though.
Can I get an excerpt?
No, not on the podcast.
Uber should give us a taste. You should give us a taste.
I'll link it to you two afterwards.
Okay, but imagine the content we could get.
No.
From a good and then her left thigh started shaking.
No, because it's creepypastas, so it's not even that. It's just.
Oh damn! I was really hoping for. I walked downstairs and my idiot stepmother said, "I've sold you to One Direction. Get out of the house."
I heard this all wrong because I thought you guys said Uber made fanfics, and I was like, who does he make them?
No. Uber doesn't have a creative bone.
He makes them about you. That's why
actually,
I haven't told you.
Does. He wrote a creepypasta about Cade, which was the funniest shit.
It was awful, but deliberately awful.
Uber, I would love to see it, please.
Yeah, no, you will. It's gonna be on the channel eventually. Matthew recorded. I believe he recorded it. I'm not too sure, but I definitely know that there's a couple recordings of Uber reading a creepypasta in the Discord, which is it's quite cool.
Can you read My Immortal?
You guys Uber, just as an idea, you should have Cade reading his own lines.
Yes, okay, can we talk about that? Okay, because I don't know if that's exactly what you meant, but you told me that Cade is a fan fiction writer. I asked Cade about that, and he says I have no clue what he's on about. What was that about?
Okay, so this whole story comes from a weekend. I was supposed to be there, but I wasn't able to make it, unfortunately, because due to family troubles. So some of our mutual friends went up with him to a farm. And one of them, so my friends are 10 times worse than I am, but I don't know why Kate doesn't see it. They're way worse than I am to him. I like playing around with him, but they fucking cause with him. They try purposely to piss him off as much as they can. And they got into his phone. So first thing they did was change his background to a picture of some guy, one of their asses, which is pretty funny.
Oh, premium content.
And then the second thing they did was this all comes. Let me just rope the story back. So we were playing Fortnite with Cade a long time ago. Well, not
As
a long
all
time
good
ago.
stories start.
As all good stories start. And he had this name Australia, and he's like, I came up with this name myself. So we were like, no way, there's no possible way you did. So we look up the name Australia. I think that's the name. I don't know if I'm getting it pronouncing it right. And we look it up, and it's a Neptunia fanfic writer, and Cade's favorite game or series or whatever is Neptunia something dimensions. And then we're like, that's such a coincidence. Maybe he is this writer for Neptunia. And then so coming back to the farm where they're on his phone, and then I don't know how I wasn't told how they got into his notes on his phone, and then there was a title. One of the notes before he came back was a title. I think it was a bond, something about a bond. Like let's just say it's a way of a bond or whatever. And so they look it up, and there is a story on the fanfic website that Australia is on called A Way of a Bond or whatever it's called, by Australia who Cade shares a name with and has a similar love of Neptunia for. So it's either very coincidental or Cade is writing fanfic.
What kind of fanfic?
It wasn't like sexual fanfic.
Damn.
It was a pretty decent story. It just got a few punctuation errors every now and then.
As we should expect.
As everyone does. It's a normal thing. It was very well written. It's very nicely done, but I'm not dissing him for it. I was surprised.
But he's not talking about sexual encounters,
No,
so
that's-
therefore I'm
No.
not interested.
That's not Cade. Honestly, Cade is not that type of guy.
Such an innocent boy.
No, it wasn't sexual fanfic. It was like as if he wrote an alt story for the game or whatever.
I have to
Or like
say
a
I'm
continuation.
disappointed.
I mean, I can't. That's believable for me because Cade is the creative type, as we found out that he literally announced to he announced to Matthew's mom that he wanted to be a voice actor, and we literally all just stopped and looked at him like, wait, what? Like, why is this the first time we're hearing about Cade's ambitions? So I personally didn't know he was that creative, but he is very interested in the lore of games. I mean, you ask him about Dark Souls and he'll tell you the entire fucking timeline. And so it'd be cool if he does write it. Doesn't mean he is the writer. He could just be a good fan and just
I'm not saying that he is the writer. I'm just saying that he either is, okay, I am saying he might be, but he either is or it's just a very big coincidence. Or he's just maybe like you said, maybe he's a fan of this
and he's
specific
just
fanfic
copied it
writer.
and put it in his notes for him to read later. Because him writing a fan fiction is less believable than him reading a fan fiction. Because him reading a fan fiction, I mean, he reads things all the time, So,
But again, like you said, we don't honestly know a lot about Cade because he doesn't talk about himself a lot. So there's a lot of surprising things we found out about him, and it also probably stems from the fact that he's not always. We don't know a lot about him, like especially in our friend group from high school, we don't know too much about him. But so we end up assuming things about him, but that we don't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hopefully we'll uncover all the dark secrets of Cade in the next podcast.
I hope so too. I mean, I doubt he'll agree to come on, but the thing is, like,
I'll work my magic.
I would say that we know Cade fairly well. I mean, none of us are really that personal with each other.
To be honest, last time I spoke to him, I had more alcohol in my stomach than anything else.
Exactly. I mean, like that also surprised me. I didn't think Cade would be the type of person to say yes at a fucking 1 a.m. trip to fucking a gay fucking nightclub. That's the last thing I thought he would do. But he said, fuck it, let's go. And then we didn't even end up in the nightclub. We went to fucking casino, but whatever.
It was a vibe, nonetheless.
It was a vibe, and I can't believe I got up from that. I mean, I was like Tyson Fury in fucking round fucking 12 of Deontay Wilder 1, just fucking dead on the floor, and then out of nowhere someone said gay nightclub, and I fucking arose and was just like...
What did you say? I'm on my way. And then we ended up at the casino and everyone lost money.
I won money. We all won.
I see.
Everyone at our table won money.
Oh yeah, you won money and then we used it for the Uber back.
We used a bit of it for the Uber back. I then used the rest of it for McDonald's the next morning for everyone.
I feel like we could make a podcast on just chronicles of what we've done at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Me and you, oh yes, we fucking that is.
If only we were together more, but sadly, there's about a really fucking big gap between us distance-wise.
I'll save this for when maybe we don't have a guest and we're just talking like you and me. But like one story that I was telling someone earlier today was that one where you picked me up at 12 after your wedding.
Oh, from the wedding.
And then like we went out at 2 in the morning.
It was great.
That was
fucking fantastic.
There's some things I need to tell you. That's a spicy story I got like under the books. We'll use that another time.
Sounds entertaining.
Well, I mean,
what?
Just bullet points. It was my anniversary.
Oh,
it was my 1 year anniversary with my ex. I also met someone new on that night. We actually, you know how people tell you do not go up the streets in Long Street? That's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
And somehow we didn't get murdered. But I mean, hey, we can tell that when we aren't.
Dude, I found out that Long Street is the dodgy place. You want to be anywhere but Long Street. Long Street's where you're gonna get robbed. Like,
that's another part of the night that happened. We like walked past that group of oaks, and literally every single one of my pockets had a hand in it, except for the one with my phone in it.
Yeah. And I had to grab my phone out of someone's hand. That was good times.
That was a vibe. We can all do that again. Yeah. Like we all go to Long Street. We just live stream the entire thing.
Dude, yes, that's what we should do. That's content right there, dude.
Okay, can I just tell a story about me almost getting mugged?
Yes, please.
So our college has a, what is it called?
Recently.
Yeah, this is very recently. So they have like a little week to get the freshmen or the people who start college to like introduce them to college and their fellow pupils, whatever.
Orientation.
So orientation. One of the days was a nightclub. And they gave us a bar tab and everything. So I go and so what I did in the bar was I got there first. I got there as soon as it opened. Drank. I got like a. I don't
that was
remember
your first
what it was.
Mistake.
I got there. I was like, I have the armband on still, and I was like, I ordered a drink, walked to the back of the line, got a drink. I was so drunk by the end of the night. I was blackout drunk. I remember. Hopefully, none of my parents are watching this. I remember someone told me I smoked 2 boxes of cigarettes in one night.
Oh, that's normal.
And I don't even smoke.
Yeah, we've all been there. I don't smoke.
And I've seen pictures of myself that night, and I was crazy. So the one part of that night I do remember. I was walking out, and I see these like group of guys outside. Like there's like 2 gates to get into this thing. So I see this group of like dude guys like standing by like a street corner. I didn't think anything of it, and then I see a guy walk up to there, and this random Uber driver calls me by my full name, by the way, including my middle name. I'm not exaggerating this.
No.
And he calls me over. I thought he was my Uber driver because I put my full name on my Uber thing. And then he calls me over, and I'm like, "Yo, you're my Uber driver." And he's like, "No, but look out for those guys over there. They're taking phones." And I'm like, "How do you know my name?" He's like, "Don't worry about it," and then drives off. And then then I turn around, and well, he first of all he grabbed my arm when he was saying this, and I freaked out. He grabbed my arm, I started like pulling, and then he's like, "Don't worry about it," and then drives off. And then I turn around because this was a place called Tiger. I turn around and I see this dude walking back, shouting, "They've taken my phone. Someone help me, they've taken my phone." Okay. And I was like, holy mother. And I mean, my Uber driver like pulled up next to me at that moment, and I got it, and I was like, "Take me home, dude."
Bro, that first guy was a guardian angel, bro. He just appeared and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna save your phone real quick."
Oh, he was trying to distract you so he could take your fucking phone.
I mean,
no, I was worried about that he knew my full name. He knew my middle name and everything.
That's what I'm saying,
that's concerning.
Dude. That's some trippy shit. That's some like Joe Rogan DMT trip right there, you know?
Well, I mean, last time I was at Tiger, yes,
bro. Tiger.
Yes, bro. On the vac, bro.
Oh, take me back to vac.
Yo, your vac was not like my vac, brother.
My vac was fucking boss. My vac was killer. We just drank the whole. We didn't drink enough to get drunk every night. We just drank to the point where our livers were just like, "Dude, what are you doing? You're not having fun, and also you're killing me. Stop it."
Yeah.
But it was lit at the same time.
I know all of us were absolutely mental every single night on vac.
I wish I do kind of I wanted to go this year, but you know, it won't fucking happen with coronavirus. But yeah.
Yo, shame. Imagine the matrics of this year don't get vac.
Dude, they don't get a matric dance. They don't get shit. I mean, also,
okay, yeah, but like I could live without a matric dance.
They did get a 2020 fucking matric 2020. That's sick. We got matric 2019. That's kind of fucking ass. I'm not gonna lie.
Fact.
Like, imagine being matric 2001. Like, oh.
Well, I mean, anything that would keep me out of being in that age group.
True.
I hate those people. Everyone who's matriculating. I'm sorry if anyone's listening that is matriculating in 2020. Your year is the worst year.
What about
I'm atting her as well. All of her friends are annoying as fuck.
Yeah. Oh hope she
I
never
mean,
sees
like-
this, but like she kind of creeps me out, dude.
Oh my god.
She kind of creeps me out, man. She messaged me.
What? Cause she
Who
got with our
creeps
son.
you?
She messaged me and she was like, "Hey, can you help me find a guy?" And I was just like, "Alright, whatever, vibes." And then she was like, "Oh, can I give you my number so like we can chat better?" And then like I was like, "Yeah, okay, I guess." She never gave me the number, but that whole like sequence of conversations where she was like, "Oh, can you help me find a guy?" And I was like, "I don't know. I guess I'll just fucking open up my menu. What do you like? Fucking do you like a 1965 fucking?
Would you like an Afrikaner? Or would you like a English boy?
Do you like your British boy in Burgundy? Like, what did you want from me?"
Oh, you racist. I mean, sorry. Do you have a racial preference?
Yeah. Asians, are they off the menu? Like, just saying. Oh,
She was just honestly the way she like. Again, I hope she never hears this, but like
me too.
the way she acts around like with dudes, she might as well just be a gay guy on Grindr.
Okay, dude. Okay, I really hope she doesn't hear this now. But so you know my friend who came with. I don't want to mention his name because
Yeah.
shame. I feel like it's unfair to mention her name and not his, but whatever.
We'll call him Mark.
Mark. Yeah, so remember Mark, right?
Yeah.
So remember how she and Mark hooked up, and then I spoke to Mark about it, and he was like, dude, that's one of the most regrettable things that he's ever done." He says he's ever done. I was
Shame.
like, that's not fair. You still hooked up with the girl, right? Like,
Yeah.
and like, although she's not my taste, she's definitely not ugly.
Mm.
And so I was like, that's not fair. You can't say that. And he was like, he was like, it wasn't actually about that. It was just about like the way she went about it. Like,
Mm.
I can understand because I remember like speaking to her. I remember being really drunk, or not even really drunk. I just remember being in a real good vibe.
Yeah.
Like mentioning like, "Oh yeah, you should date Chris," and then like he was like, "Oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck."
Panic.
Please no, please no. And she's like, "Oh, I'd love to date him. He's such a cute guy." And I was like, "Oh shit, that's actually kind of weird. Like hooking up on the first day. And like, oh, I'd love to date this guy." Oh, okay, cool. While we're on the topic of love, Cameron, I hate to be such a fucking barge in your love life, but another questionably true Cade story, or questionably reliable Cade story came out about you. Was it Tinder? You went on Tinder or something?
I mean, who hasn't?
Obviously, there's nothing wrong with Tinder.
I mean, I have been on Tinder.
Yeah,
I'm not currently on Tinder.
okay, but it's not about like whether I'm on Tinder. It doesn't matter. Tinder's cool. I like Tinder. I've met a lot of people I currently talk to a lot. On Tinder.
No, I've met people through Tinder. I like the app, I guess. I don't have a strong opinion about it, but yeah, I was on Tinder.
Yeah. So he told me the story. I don't know if it was from Tinder, but he told me the story about you got I want to say girlfriend, probably not the right way to say it. And he told me that you
Okay, wait. I know what story. I know what story you're talking about.
Are you
Just-
just before we get into this, are you willing to talk about this? Or would you
Yes, we
rather-
can talk about it.
I'm
I
100%
find it
lost,
quite-
and
I
I'm
find it
here
quite
for it.
Yeah, okay, so let me get to it, right? Let me just lay it out as I have it written down, right? Your gold digger girlfriend, who was like also a cougar in a type beat. She was like, how old was she? Like 28, somewhere like
20.
Oh, that's a bit
23.
predatory.
she was how old?
23.
33.
23.
20.
Oh, okay.
23.
No,
so
that's
it
fine.
wasn't that bad. That's not that bad. I mean,
It's not. That's
and
not
the-
that bad. It's still probably
and
not the best, but like
the-
we live.
The idea that she was a gold digger was spread by one of our friends that Kate also hates, but it's because she wore a specific dress in like one of the few photos we've taken, and he called her a gold digger and said I should break up with her. He directly messaged this to me, and that's why people thought she was a gold digger, because this one guy kept telling everyone she was a gold digger. But actually, she was
Because
quite
of the dress she was wearing.
yeah, it actually was quite the opposite. And the truth, well, in my perspective on the story, because she was often financially supportive of me and supportive of the things I was doing. She, like on our first date, she tipped the waiter, which is quite embarrassing.
Wait, she took the.
I didn't have I didn't have only brought like I only brought 75 rand, and she paid about like another 25 rand for my meal, and I was like, wow, thank you so much for this. But the idea or the rumor that she's a gold digger is not true. It's quite the opposite.
All right, if I can just cut in, what are you eating for 75 rand on a date?
My question as well.
I went to Spur, and I didn't know where we were going, and I had all the money that was left over from the job I was currently doing. After I spent it on something else, I don't even remember what it was.
So your first date at Spur, you order your burger and chips.
Yes.
Well, that's on special on Wednesdays.
You can't say my man doesn't have class.
You cannot say that this man does not have drip.
Did while you were waiting for the food, did you go play in the kiddies area while she waited?
Nah.
Honestly, why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean,
get your money's worth.
Yeah, I would have gone to the PlayStation. I'm just saying, Crash Bandicoot. I never play that except for Spur. Just saying. Anyway.
Yeah. The Spur did not have a playground. Let's just be clear about that.
Yeah.
Then is it even a Spur?
So you totally would have gone if it had one then.
I can confirm that indeed I would have.
Good.
That's a good man. So I have no problem with people taking like McDonald's as a first date. I think that's actually a really good first date, because if it's a first date, I don't want to spend a lot of money on you. So I'm not gonna. I will spend the money, but I'm not gonna buy you a fucking full ass romantic dinner. So I think a Spur's a decent median level, but the fact that you brought 75, was that cash? Like, were you paying cash?
Yeah, it was cash. I didn't have a credit card at this point.
Damn, that's fucking. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of fucking bleak. I'm not.
So we've established the ideal first dates from everyone except for you, Stuart. What's yours?
Just have someone there.
Yeah, honestly, just have someone.
Just they show up.
Yeah, honestly, that's the dream. Someone just shows up.
Let me tell you boys how to do it.
Honestly.
Let me show you boys how it's done. The ideal first date is coffee that turns into lunch and or dinner.
Oh yes, I know.
That's the ideal first date, because if you're that interested in a conversation with someone where it naturally segues into like eating something and like spending time together, that's the ideal first date. And then perhaps for the second date, maybe a movie, maybe like something more personal to you. Like I like going to the art gallery
going to church. Yeah,
I'll take you to church on the second date, and then you can meet my pastor and my grandmother who isn't alive, and then
I can talk to God.
We can actually go for a walk in the graveyard.
This is my nonna. She's
but I'm not gonna lie to you. Like a good meal at Spur, with some light trampoline fun in the background, maybe perhaps a walk
screaming,
around the mall.
Some white mom complaining about like, I don't know, racist shit.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how I want to meet my wife, just in a Spur.
One time I was in a Spur and this kid came walking past me, and I was there for like I was there with like my baby cousins because I was babysitting or something, and this kid comes up past us, like little kid, not small enough to not be able to speak, but like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not very good at aging children. Like honestly, if you're under the age of like 13, you literally could be a fetus, and I'd be like, they look like 6.
Oh yeah.
So this kid walks past me, grabs the chips off my plate, like full fist, just grabs them, and she's not running, she's straight up taking a stroll past me. And I see the mom, like, because you didn't see what you did, you just looked at her being like, what did you just do? Because I'm looking at this kid like, honestly, I wasn't going to eat the chips, I was fine with it, I was just shook.
She's definitely on the spectrum though, like.
Oh no, she was. That like the mom came to me like 10 minutes after and was like, "I'm sorry, she's on the spectrum." I was like, "No, I honestly didn't want them. She can have them."
Yeah, that's a cute, that's a wholesome ending to that story. But like, I know a lot of people who like that girl would have literally fucking caught hands. Like as little as
I
small
respect
and
her
just like
drive.
she is, she would have caught a couple hands. I'm not gonna
She's
lie.
gonna boot her.
If she'd grabbed my McDonald's fries, she's gonna catch these hands, and I'm gonna.
Yeah,
throw
but like,
that
there's a
hook.
big difference between. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Honestly, like, the Pope could come past me and grab my McDonald's fries, and I'd be upset. But like, they're spur fries. That's the
Yeah,
difference.
that's perfect. But
What if it was McDonald's nuggets?
Honestly, I'm not the big. My controversial opinion is that I don't actually like nuggets.
There's times when you crave nuggets, and then if someone touches your nuggets, you're gonna actually fuck them up. Like I remember, like the day after gambling, going to the casino.
Oh yeah.
I got like 2 share boxes, and there was like 4 packs of nuggets in there, so it was like 40 nuggets for like 8 maybe 10 people, and like I gave everyone 3, and if you do the maths, that left me with a little bit more. Just
Yeah.
and I was like, no one touched these nuggets.
Big.
Well, I mean,
big
it was
brain
your money.
strats.
What?
It was your money. It makes sense.
Oh yeah, I bought everyone breakfast, so everyone was actually fine with giving me.
Yeah, everyone have fun with your 3 nuggets.
No, they all got like burgers and fries. I was like, if you got a small burger, you got big fries. If you got big burger, you got small fries. Everyone was very satisfied with that because some people wanted fries, other people wanted burger, and it worked out really well. And I felt like a hero. I'm not gonna lie.
And I was at home sleeping.
Yes, you were.
I was nowhere to be found because I wasn't there.
Because you decided
Rude.
you're gonna keep up this catfish. Which, by the way, if I can just explain to people who don't know, like Cameron, you might not know this joke, but we definitely believe that Stewie's just some random fucking Nigerian prince who's just trying to scam us.
Oh,
He's
fully,
1000%.
fully, dude.
Have you ever seen
100,000,000%. Actually, I have.
Oh yeah, no, so have I. But you know what's funny? The one time he gave me his address, and I looked on Google Maps, like the Google Earth, and I went outside his house, and just standing outside his house, just some black guy, just vibing. He's staring like dead into the camera. He's just vibing. I fucking died. I was like, Uber, that's you, bro.
Well, I mean, like, if all of us had been near the Google Earth van, we'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
If I had been near the Google Earth van, I would have like hit the fattest fucking dab and just embarrassed my whole family.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
10 years later, you're like, oh god.
No. See, that's the thing about me is I look back at things I did that are cringe when I was like 9, and I'm like, okay, that's cringe because you were 9. But I'm telling you, like so far, I look back at things I did when I was like 16. I'm like, it's still kind of funny. Like that's still kind of a shit house. Like I still appreciate the dark arts of troll. You know.
I don't grow past it. That's my trick.
Yeah.
It
Like,
haunts me.
I made a Musical.ly in grade 9, and guess what? I'm making TikToks now. Like, what's the difference?
Yeah. I've made a TikTok. I just didn't make it public, and it wasn't.
Please send it to me.
That
Please send it to me.
It's not a TikTok of me. It's just it's that one where it's like, oh, can I pet that dog? Can't.
Oh yeah.
It's just that, and it's my cat, and I was like, okay, this is pretty good. I was
My
like,
TikToks are me complaining about everything and anything. Honestly.
oh, I've seen
people-
TikTok. It gives me cancer. I'm not even gonna fucking lie.
Oh.
I love your TikTok. I love getting cancer. Trust me, but like, it does give me cancer. Like I look at it. I did enjoy the simp one. That one was funny as hell. But the one,
Thank
the
you.
one that made me cringe was like, it's like what do you call it? Like split screening or whatever. Duetting.
Oh, the simp one.
No.
The original simp one.
No. It was like duetting sexist TikToks until I laugh, and like you duetted one, you didn't laugh, and then you never did it again.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. Like, that's the whole thing. Is that I'm not going to laugh at them because they're not funny.
Yeah, so you must keep doing them. Because you're saying duetting sexist TikToks until they're funny.
Okay, fine. Then I'll do day 2 tomorrow. Just send me a sexist TikTok. How about you make one?
Bro, all my fucking feed is sexist. I mean, like, not that I care. It's just that it is sexist.
Well, I mean, like, one of mine popped off the other day because I talked about that phenomenon where everyone who like grew up in South Africa knows someone who's African born and raised, but they speak with an American accent, like the worst American accent you've ever heard in your life, and you're like, you are not from America. Why are you speaking like that?
That is news to me.
Yeah.
Really?
I know one of these people.
Thank you, because my entire comment section is filled up with like they literally atted about 3 different TikTokers who do it,
That's interesting.
which is funny because I actually had an experience with one of those TikTokers, but I'm not going to go into that, especially on TikTok.
If I can be completely honest, I've completely avoided TikTok. What was the one before it, Vine? Musically, I've completely avoided these throughout my life. I've never been in a single one. Thank the Pope.
Can I give you like?
I've never made an
advice?
account.
No. Can I tell you? Are you saying you never watched Vine? Because I know that's false.
No, he means
I've never been on one, and I've never. I might have watched a TikTok by accident, but I've never purposefully watched a TikTok.
Okay, now let me tell you something. I would usually have agreed with you. For a long time, I thought TikTok was shit until this year because, and this is gonna sound sexist, Ian. I'm sorry, my man, but the boys joined, and the boys made it good, and not just those shit fucking boys who would like duet the fucking cringy ass TikTok dancer girls and be like, look, she's a woman, belongs in the kitchen. Like that shit wasn't funny. All of it was cringe until like the lads joined. When the lads joined, and when they hit that fucking like, the fucking missing dad jokes and the
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. It was the people who made Instagram and like Vine good joined TikTok, and that's what made TikTok good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we still have the fucking cosplayers who are like, "Rao," and that's like whatever. But then if you're on TikTok for more than like 3 days, your For You page is going to be all the stuff that you actually like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it'll end up like, I remember my entire For You page for a couple of days was Bob's, like Nicki Minaj stands versus Trump supporters, and it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
That sounds like art.
Sounds very entertaining.
Because you'll see a guy complaining about how abortion is wrong, and he's like all pro-life, and he's like, "Dear pro-choicers," and someone will duet that video, speaking directly into the microphone, just to fuck with him, being like rapping Nicki Minaj lyrics.
I've seen you do one of those, which, I mean, hell,
Perfection.
we put up somewhere if we can, but
I'll link my TikTok in the description.
I will. No, we will. Fuck.
Your boy Ian.
I like TikTok. I gotta say, I do enjoy TikToks now. I mean, I don't like going through TikTok like the app. I like just watching the compilations on YouTube. It just sums up everything I want to see.
Yeah. Can I give you guys like genuine advice?
What?
From someone who's been on TikTok and has had multiple videos pop off for fuck all reason.
Oh, I'm not.
If you wanna,
but yeah.
If you wanna grow your like YouTube, your Instagram, your whatever, the best way to do it is through TikTok. Because I have like, I think I had 1,000 followers on Instagram when I started TikTok. Now I have like 1.3, but that's not the point. I have double that on TikTok. So people come to your TikTok, they follow you there, and then they see your Instagram and they follow your Instagram. My DMs, Yetta era.
Yetta, bro. Yeah.
It's all these girls coming into my DMs with just gold. Like this girl asked me how I like my eggs cooked. And I was like, I honestly, marry me right now, except no, because I do not know you. And you just like my TikTok.
Can I just say something? Because I do have the stream open up on my laptop, but when you were talking about your TikTok story, someone posted humble brag. And I fully support this.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So people are actually watching this. That's crazy.
Yeah, we got six views at the moment.
What are you doing with your evenings?
Who is Puswapper?
Yeah.
I don't know who that
I know
That's
who it is. I know who it
perfect
is.
username.
is. Okay. Yeah.
Honestly, send me a DM.
But yeah, yeah. Anyway, we're not supposed to be interacting with chat too much because the podcast is just supposed to be streamed live.
Yeah.
And
I just wanted to point something out that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, as just so for the people who are listening to this after the fact, there was someone in the chat named Puswapper, and that is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Fuck. Okay. Jesus Christ, we've gotten a bit of a tangent. What weren't we talking?
A bit.
Weren't we talking about your fucking gold digger girlfriend?
Yeah, I was still waiting for
back
questions
on
on that.
So
Carry on, sir.
So I've been told some things. I don't want to say them out loud because obviously there's I respect your privacy. Unlike some people who just fucking post that shit instantly. Like I found out about this, I was like, I don't think I should be hearing this, but I'm glad I did. But essentially, what people were saying is that okay. I have a couple questions. First, are you still with, or is this still like a thing with you and this girl?
Nah.
Nah, okay, and it's not like a possible thing in the future. It's just like nah, it's
Like,
dead. Dead in the
mm-mm.
water. Okay, so I was told that you became a little bit delusional with it. You know, you became like
Oh,
not delusional.
definitely.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to discuss that? Because like I've heard some fucked up shit. Like that you said.
What? Well, okay. Will any of this get me in trouble?
Trouble how?
Are you talking legal trouble?
Legal trouble? No.
I don't wanna alienate most of my audience when I'm still starting.
Alright, I'll message you
Honestly,
right now. And
if
what I've
anything
been
is gonna
told you say.
bring,
So,
Okay,
if anything's gonna bring you an audience, it's drama.
Okay, I'll tell you about I'll tell you the question.
yeah, that's what I was told. That you told her. We don't have to talk about this obviously if you don't want to. But that's what I
Okay,
was told. That's
okay,
what
I found this part I find bloody hilarious.
Okay, so we can talk about
So
it. I'm
yes.
excited. Yes, I want to talk about it.
Okay, so just say what the question.
Okay, so can I say what I messaged you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what I heard was that you got delusional. You got delusional, not the right word. You got out of touch with reality, and you started simping over her a little bit, just a little bit. And so you said something that I was told that you said was that you wanted to give her babies before she was 25 or something along the lines. You wanted to give her babies like now. And when I heard that, I was like, that's fucking nuts.
Okay, so this obviously comes from our different cultures, but so
wait, what
this
do you mean our different cultures?
Okay, no, not our different cultures. Me and her different cultures, because she was African native.
She's black.
Did you say that? Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with mentioning someone's.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. I just didn't want to say it in a derogatory way. But
derogatory.
so let's just say maybe in the way she comes from, it's unusual to not have children young, because then you can just be a parent your whole life, because apparently that's what you want to do. That's what they want to do. So she would hammer in this idea since we first started dating. She wanted to have kids at 25. Like, it was a bit forward at first, but eventually my brain was so like, I was so into it at that point that I was like, sure, I'll fucking do it. I didn't really think about going like far ahead. I was a lot different back then than I am now. I've learned a lot. But the first person you do it with, you want to do it again, so you're gonna do anything they say to do it again.
Yeah, you're gonna be attached. That's the problem with dating someone older.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So you're gonna get attached, and you're gonna want to participate in those actions again. So I was a bit crazed from my first time that this I would believe. If you asked me to jump off a cliff, I probably would. Like, I was so delusional that I was so into it because she was my first time.
I get the feeling.
This got real saucy. I didn't know that.
I'm loving this.
I am also loving this.
But I mean, we can't blame you. Like, first of all, it was your first time. We all got like that, or at least I did.
I did.
My first
proper time. Yeah.
In that whole relationship, I would have like done anything for them, and it was just the absolute worst. But also, you get the added element of you being with someone older, who, when someone's older than you, it's just an instinctual thing to be like, I should listen to what this person has to say.
Yeah, it's also like an authority. Like, we can give them an authority. Yeah.
That's the problem with age gaps in relationships, because the second someone's more than like 2 years older than you, you have this like superiority complex.
I fully believe now that she took advantage of me, like physically for attention. Like, a lot of my life at that point, a lot of like, because we were only together for like 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and like a lot of that
And you were already
time,
like,
and
I'm gonna give you a baby.
a lot of that time, I was delusionally into her,
That makes
and I
sense.
fully believe she took advantage of that.
Well, I'm glad you can see that now. At least you
Yeah,
got out of
I've
it, thank
learned
God.
from that.
Can
Yeah.
I ask a risque question? Well, not risque,
Indeed.
but can I ask
Yeah.
do you have a racial preference?
No.
Okay, no, not.
He's asking if you're
consciously.
racist.
No, not a conscious.
Not like consciously. Okay,
but
my dating
subconsciously, are
history,
you more attracted
I've
to-
dated across the whole spectrum equally.
Good for you.
You've dated a lot of autists then.
Oh,
Yeah,
Christ.
definitely.
I joke, I tease.
I'm waiting for the day that this podcast gets into any form of actual like politics, and we all just end up screaming at each other.
No, I refuse to talk about politics. We'll do a politics episode with you, Ian.
Because I'm like to the left, you're to the right.
Leave me out of that one. I'm trying not to divide my.
You sucked Milo Yiannopoulos' dick. We all know you, Ian.
Oh yeah, I was an edgelord in grade 9. It was disgusting.
We were all edgelords, okay? It's fine.
Yeah, but some of us stayed there.
Nah, we all changed. I mean, we all look at Trump now and we go, wow, that's cringe as fuck. I mean, I look back at 2016 me and I'm like, bro, you even laughed cringe. Like, I couldn't understand. 2016 me was hella cringe.
Yeah,
There was some things I still respect about 2016 me. I wish I still had. But
I went from like woohoo Trump in grade 9 to almost crying over the fact that Bernie dropped out yesterday.
Okay.
wait,
No, did Bernie drop?
I feel you.
Did Bernie drop out?
Yeah.
That is you.
I mean, he's not campaigning, but you can still vote for him.
You can still vote for him, but like he's not going to get anywhere without a campaign.
Oh
Dude, have you seen the clips of Joe Biden? That dude.
Okay,
that dude.
No, let's not get political.
Yeah, no, we're going political.
No.
I'm already segmenting my audience.
Quickly. Joe Biden is the only man on the planet I can see being worse than Donald Trump.
I'm not talking about his politics. I'm just saying you can see his physical health doing well.
No, he has fucking some form of dementia, bro. He doesn't know what someone put him in front of people and said speak politics, and he just started speaking, and words fell out of his face.
If he becomes president, I don't think he's gonna live his full term.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Bro,
Well, I mean, that's how people felt about Bernie, and now Bernie's still fucking kicking.
Yeah, well, no, but the thing is, like, say what you want about, like, Trump and that whatever. One thing I do respect about Trump is that he doesn't play the fucking, what is it called? The fucking, social... Oh fuck! I forget the name of it. Essentially, he doesn't believe in grouping of people in terms of like financial equity and things like that, where it's like
classes.
No, like okay, I don't know how to explain this. I mean, he's not a good president. Don't get me wrong, but something that I do enjoy. No, not enjoy.
Is his tweets?
I love his tweets. His tweets are great. I love his fucking tweets. His tweets are like the best thing.
They are quite entertaining.
They are very entertaining. But no, it's his one policy online.
I just closed the door. I got my water. Sorry.
So let's just call it social grouping, essentially. So it's like, oh, I'm a vegan, so that means I belong to a group of vegans. Like, why can't you just be a person and not just like? But obviously, that's not the example I'm talking about. He obviously deals with race and nationality and that kind of stuff. And although I mean he's not great with it, he usually is fairly like, he doesn't know what he's saying a lot of the time. But he doesn't conform to like the whole like, oh, black people should get better opportunity, not better opportunities, better outcomes. What is it?
Yeah, because he's racist.
No. It's essentially equality of outcome versus equality of opportunity.
For my own sake, I have no opinion on this. I am neutral. I'm centralist. I'm not really a political person.
I'm a centrist.
I don't think anyone is the right candidate at the moment. I just don't think that people should have equality of outcome over equality of opportunity. If everyone has the same opportunities, it's fair game. If everyone has, if there's equal outcome, then it's like, well, you know, if one group of people starts doing better, like say like very say drastically, Asian people are better at being doctors, let's say, and then there's more people, more Asians going into medicine, but because we need equality of outcome, you need to hire people who have no interest in being doctors, who are just going into that job because of their certain race. That's all I think. Anyway, let's not get political.
let's
Let's
get into politics
drive away from
before-
politics.
I think
Before I get into like eat the rich,
Yeah,
So-
let's not get into the communism memes.
because I'm like far, like
Yeah,
not
no.
far, but I'm like decently to the left. You're
midway
like
left.
you're
midway
like
He's-
classical liberal,
He's
and it's just
been
not
to at
gonna go
least.
well.
Ian has been to at least 3 Antifa rallies as well.
Yeah, I definitely. I reckon Fabian would go to an Antifa rally.
I
Maybe not
actually would, just to
participate.
see what it's like.
Definitely consider.
I'm not gonna share my political opinion
No,
because I don't want to be political.
No, because as soon as you put that out there, people then have a bias against you, and it's not fair because your political views isn't who you are. I mean,
Well, I mean, hey, I made one like slightly
It doesn't affect your
feminist
content,
TikTok,
usually.
and I got tuned simp for like 3 weeks after that.
that's what I'm saying, and it's like, well, the thing is, I know that those dudes who called you a simp would probably, if they had the opportunity, probably go gay for you. I'm just saying.
Oh,
simp
fact.
over you 100%. I know this because as straight as I am, there's moments where I'm like, fuck, okay, this guy's the real deal. I might just be on the turn for him.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
So, I still need to hear between Cameron and Cade. Was there a moment where you knew it set off?
I could feel like a slow progression to me and Cade's relationship turning toxic and becoming against one another. But
Yeah.
the defining moment, I could probably think of maybe two like complete, no, three complete outbursts when either me or him completely outburst in either anger or fully emotion, and that's probably the peak, like the worst that our relationship got.
So can you lay those out for me?
Okay, so the first one I remember. Well, I don't know if these are in the right order because I don't remember too well, but I remember that me and our group of friends were in the library, and I don't remember what exactly, but I don't remember what exactly led to Cade saying this, but I remember Cade saying that he thinks I should die.
Ooh, that's
Like,
intense.
Deadpan,
And-
straight ass, like fucking.
Yeah, I got a bit scared, but I like pretended to laugh it off. But like I got a bit scared there. And then the second event, Cade, I don't know what was with Cade this day, but Cade was going after me. It was in the morning, like when we got to school, but Cade was going after me relentlessly. Because we used to have a bit more of a back and forth, but now it's just, I don't know.
It was
Well, I think we still do have a bit
one-sided
of
that day, is what you're saying.
yeah, it was one-sided that day. I wasn't really doing anything, and I just got up. I was furiously, like, I was shaking with rage, and I called Cade a bitch, and I called him a pussy, and he's like, "Oh, what are you gonna call me?" And I was ready to fight Cade that day. And I'm just telling you, this was before Cade got buff, or kind
I
of buff.
remember this. Yeah, no, Cade
Yo,
is
Cade's
swole.
back now.
Cade is swole. I don't know.
When
I
I
also
met
got a
him,
bit-
I
a
was,
little bit more
I
swole.
was shaken to my core. I was like, nah.
He's wild.
Like I was expecting like a skinny, like classical gamer boy, like acne,
like how I look.
pale as fuck.
Yeah, like how I look. Like
You're not that bad, Shane, but you are skinny and pale as
I'm
fuck.
skinny,
Cade's
pale,
not-
acne. I'm your typical gamer boy. I just don't have a jaw.
Cade's not the only one who's got swole, guys.
Yeah, can we talk
You
about
swole.
something?
Nah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like something about you that I've noticed, and I don't want to sound mean, okay, but when I first met you, I can't remember if you were skinny or if you were a little bit tubby, but I do remember you going from essentially tubby or skinny to then the alternate and then back to skinny. And recently I've seen photos of you and you're looking a little bit swole. You know, like the video I saw of you, you're looking, and when I say swole, I don't mean buff. I mean you're getting a little bit porky there, and that's obviously fine. You look good. I'm not
Nothing
saying
wrong with that.
But I just want to know, how do you go from like, because there was one point
Yeah.
where I remember you were skinny, like real skinny. At least maybe my memory served me wrong, but I do remember you being real skinny. And
Yeah.
then-
So yes, I was breaks and I was skeleton thin. I used to be those. It's quite a story. This whole process, if you would like.
please tell. If you,
Oh, I
Yeah,
would love
so-
to hear it.
Since I have ADD, so okay, wait. Sorry,
that's how
I have
the story
ADD.
starts.
I have ADD, so I've been taking medication for it my whole life. Well, since I can remember at least. So I used to take it. They used to curb my hunger. But when I was younger, I was bulimic without realizing it. I used to force myself to throw up a lot, and I don't even remember to this day what the reason for it was. I just remember I used to throw up a lot. So I used to be very thin. And then we tried to go off it for it. That's when I got a bit bigger. And then I went on it back again, a stronger dose at this time, and I was thin again. And then I've stopped taking it now. I barely take it anymore now. I do take it like for tests and stuff. But nowadays I'm on antidepressants because I have bipolar, and I also take sleeping tablets because I struggle to fall asleep. And the combination of that and a few other things has led me to getting a bit bigger. But I've also been trying to exercise as much as I can every day, so I have been getting a lot more stronger at the same time.
Oh yeah, no.
I would like to say I have a dad bod.
Yeah, no, like weight does come with, like, not always, but a lot of the time when you put on pounds, you can also pick up more pounds. It's just how it works. And you don't look bad. You don't look unhealthy. I'll say that. You don't look bad. You don't look unhealthy. But I just had to point out that I've noticed that you've gone like from one extreme to, well, not extreme, but you've gone from like skinny to porky, back to skinny, back to porky, and I just wanted to find
Yeah,
out
it's
about
because of my medication and
yeah.
because I used to basically be bulimic without even realizing it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's interesting that you say you're on antidepressants and that's a contributing to your weight. Obviously, it's not directly contributing, but obviously antidepressants.
No,
help
like
you
it
with
can,
this.
like
Oh no,
those things really get to like every aspect of your body. I know
Oh,
exactly what he's talking
know.
about.
Yeah. But the thing for me is that when I was on antidepressants, I actually got skinnier. I got my body went to like actual ass.
That's
Yeah,
really
it
strange
depends,
because a lot of people I've known that got antidepressants get bigger. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's common.
I know that is common because I've seen a lot of people on antidepressants. They do gain weight like gradually. But for me, I don't know. That was weird. Like when I was taking it, my antidepressants were wild. I don't know. My my antidepressant phase was like it's literal like a blank spot in my memory. I don't remember that time. I remember everything before taking antidepressants, and then I remember everything afterward. But that like space, I was like, yo, what the fuck happened? Like I couldn't tell you a fucking. I couldn't even tell you
those
the
things
dates.
mess you up proper.
They do. It's like
look, I
I'm
believe that mine are helping me, and I've come on like my extremes that I would go through in emotion have like stabilized now, and it's like I believe they're helping me, but there are obviously always going to be negative side effects to them. It's not going to be always positive.
Yeah, but as long as the positive outweighs the negative, then
yeah, the positive outweighs the negatives. But I say that's my experience at least with what I've had with antidepressants.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying I had a negative experience with antidepressants. I just don't remember that part of my life. But I like the way I describe antidepressants is a lot of people today, they mistreat it. They think it's a magic pill that will just make you better. It isn't.
No.
It doesn't at all. In fact, if anything, it can almost make you worse if you don't do anything. If you just take it and don't do anything. It's essentially what it is depression's like a huge rut, and you're in this hole, and there is no ladder. There is no gripping spaces to climb out of it, essentially. Well, there may be a couple, but you know what I mean. There's very few opportunities for you to actually try and get out of this hole. And what antidepressants do is they kind of make that hole slightly more manageable to climb. And what a lot of people don't do is they don't try and climb that hole. They just take the antidepressants and they just sit there in the hole waiting for it to like rise them up to the top so they can see sunlight again. And it's like, well, that's not how it works. You got to work your way out of it.
Yeah, like my experience with antidepressants, first time I took them, like my first few weeks, or at least my first like half a year, I believed antidepressants help them, like solve everything. I believed it was this miracle drug. But now my opinion is that when you take antidepressants, the antidepressants aren't going to make your life better. They're not going to improve your life. You have to take the ownership of yourself to improve your life while you're taking antidepressants are going to help you, make you see things in a better way, but it's not going to make you do anything different. It's not going to force you to do anything different.
Yeah, I completely
That makes
understand
sense.
that. Like my thing on antidepressants is actually it never actually fixed my mood, but what it did make was when you're not on it and you're depressed, little things add up and then they get exponentially worse. Like
Yeah, they're like build up.
It can literally start like in the morning. You wake up, you can't get your hair right. You're like fuck it, and then you're late for the bus.
Yeah,
fuck
like
it.
one thing ruins your entire day.
And then eventually it's literally just something like you're eating sushi and your chopstick breaks and you're done with the day. You just want to go home and just sleep. What antidepressants do is they make it so like those little things, they don't get to you. Like they literally just like they bounce off of you as if you weren't depressed. But
Yeah,
it doesn't really fix you just kind of level out. You're just like I can deal with things better now. That's
yeah. What
I feel-
antidepressants did for me was, because I have bipolar, I went from like one day being ecstatically happy, like super happy, to I just extremely dark place the next day, and I'll be like sad for like a week and then happy for like sad for like a month and happy for like a week.
Yeah.
And those extremes were extremely bad for my health. So they gave me antidepressants, and that's balanced it out. So I have good days and bad days, but it's not so extreme.
Yeah.
It's not like it's gonna change my life completely.
It's not the best day of your life followed by the worst. It's
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that. I mean, I don't have bipolar. I just I just hit a plateau of like shit. I was like, this is
Yeah.
For like 6 months. I was like, this life sucks. And then I was like,
No,
fuck it, I'm done.
But like this is how I like to explain bipolar to people. So imagine you're having the most shit life you've ever had in your your life is shit for a month. And then this is why I think bipolar is worse than depression, because then one day you're given this glimmer of hope, and for the next month that hope's taken away, and your day's ruined. Your week is ruined. That light that was given to you is just ripped away from you, and you just in the shit for another month.
Yeah. No, I feel
that.
Like I do actually know a lot of people who they're not diagnosed, but I suspect do have bipolar disorder, and it's like some people are obviously more like what a lot of people think the stereotype of like literally within minutes you can change your mood. I do know a couple people who can literally be like 1 hour they're like don't want to see the world, and then the next hour they hop out of bed and they're like, why aren't we cooking, mate? Or like, why aren't we baking? And I'm like, what the fuck's your like, what's your problem? But for the most part, it is a long term where it's like you're not having a good first half of the year, and then you'll have like this spark that comes like almost out of nowhere, and they will seem like they've turned a new leaf just for like within a couple days or weeks. I think the longest I've seen someone on the spark run was about close to a month, and then it crashes hard again, and it's devastating. It's like rising to the summit of Mount Everest, and then all of a sudden it just fucking poop, it's gone, and you're just like flying down to the earth at 1,000,000 miles an hour. You're like, fuck, this sucks.
Yeah, that was like my experience. But like, yeah, I know a lot of people with bipolar. A lot of people show it like that, but in my case, the reason I only discovered it like 4 years ago was because it was completely inside me until I went to a therapist. I didn't understand what I was going through. I was suicidal. I have attempted to take my own life before. I'm not afraid to say that, but I've moved on from them. But those downfalls are made so much worse because of rising up. those like when you fall is way more because of all the steps you've taken to get back up. But the trick but the antidepressants have helped a lot to balance it, so like everything's like decent, nothing's like good, nothing's bad.
Yeah, it's just manageable.
Yeah.
Alright, well.
So, do you think how you are now, given how things have changed, maybe the whole beef with Cade wouldn't have gone so bad?
No, I was in a really bad place when me and Cade's like aggression towards each other peaked. I was in a horrible place. I've changed a lot. I've taken a lot of the world. I've seen a lot of things. I've met a lot of people. I've learned a lot.
Yeah, you've
And
clearly been
I
through
know
your
as a
shit.
person I've changed, and I don't hold any ill will towards Cade. We've had our troubles in the past, but that's where I think they should stay in the past. I would love to make up. Like if he sees this, I would love to make up with you, Cade, or at least be on neutral terms. Like let's figure this out, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can vouch for that. I mean, obviously, I don't know you as personally as Cade, but
Yeah.
from the first day I met you to 2 weeks later to 3 months later to now, I mean, geez, every single time, it's a different person almost. It's crazy, and
Yeah.
Growth.
your growth. I mean, if I'm being honest, the last time I spoke to you, coming into this podcast, I did not see this podcast going in any way maturely. I thought this was gonna be an absolute shit show of like back and forth between us. But I'm so happy at the way it's turned out. Like,
Well, I mean, it has been an absolute shit show, but it hasn't been
okay,
that
But
bad.
it hasn't been a shit show of like Cameron being immature and we like almost picking on him. Like you know what I mean? Like that's how I thought
Yeah.
it may have gone. But I'm really happy that it's gone this way because I mean, Cameron's grown. You've grown like so much. You seem mature. I mean, you've still done some questionable things, which
I'm always gonna make controversial and questionable things because that's just part of my personality. That's just who I am. But I've matured and I've learned from making these mistakes. I've learned from them and I've changed and I've added to myself and I've taken away from myself. And I always want to develop. I never want to stop growing. I never want to be a stagnant person. I want to develop and always grow and always have this growth of me and always change to become a better version of myself.
yeah.
Cameron, to your credit, I feel like one of your best traits is, like you said, even though you making questionable decisions is part of you who you are. I feel like one of the better qualities of you is that you always seem to learn from when you made a questionable choice. Because there are a lot of people that they'll make a really bad choice and then they just never learn from it.
I also think if I can add
Me.
quick is that even I maybe not even better, but I think just as importantly that you own up to your bad mistakes.
Yeah, taking responsibility is
Like the first
number
step.
one for me. It's the first step to getting better. The first step to fixing a problem and not regretting them. Like I don't regret anything in my life. I always see it as a learning or a teachable moment. Like the first step to becoming like that or to making yourself better and like not being regretful of anything is taking responsibility that you fucked up, that you messed up. That's the first thing that you might have had a part, that you had a part in it. And I don't want to. This is just one thing that the only one thing that ticks me off about Cade. I haven't seen him in a while, but from recent stories that I've been told through mutual friends, is he doesn't take responsibility, and that really makes me mad sometimes.
I mean, I don't want to shit on Cade.
We'll
He's
see on
my
episode
friend.
2.
Yeah, we might.
Yeah, yeah.
Look,
I
I'm
mean,
not shitting on him, but
no. I know
that's
you
just
are.
from the stories I've heard from him.
Yeah, I
From
mean, like I don't want to shit on Cade. Obviously, I love Cade to bits. You know, I would consider him one of my best friends, even though I don't know everything about his life. Like, I would still fucking put up for him regardless of his situation.
yeah.
But one thing I will say is where me and him like have a small feud every now and then is that we're both really stubborn. So there was this drama we had maybe 2 years ago. Essentially, it was when X died, and
Yeah.
and basically we brought up this conspiracy, and it was like, oh, you know, because in the photos he doesn't have the tree on his forehead, and I was still upset that, like, you know, at the time my favorite rapper had died, blah blah blah, and Cade said out of nowhere, one of the dumbest questions I've ever heard was like, why would he have a tree tattooed on his forehead? Which, I mean, with context of like, if the seriousness of the conversation wasn't is he dead or not, then I can understand asking that question. But the seriousness of it was like, we're talking about this dude, he's dead, and we're questioning why he had a tattoo on his forehead. Like, come on, like,
Yeah.
So
No,
I started
but-
fighting him, and what
Yeah.
happened was we had this whole fucking like 2 hour, 3 hour long fucking fight where like no one was happy with us at the end of it, and like we came to the realization that we were both just being stupid because we both had done something dumb or made a mistake or said something regrettable, and we just weren't owning up to it. And then eventually we did get over it, but I have noticed that Cade, like you said, he doesn't really, as far as I've seen, he doesn't always own up to his mistakes, which to be fair, he might not think they're mistakes.
Yeah, okay, but can I tell you one story that I don't know why I can't let this go every time I talk to him, but it just makes me so upset to hear this. Can I tell it on the podcast, or should I not say it?
It depends. Like, is it like I don't want to put Cade on blast yet.
No, okay, we're not putting Cade on blast. I don't know his point of view from this. That's the thing. I'm gonna put a disclaimer here. I don't know his point of view.
Once you say it,
Maybe
then
this
we'll
was
get him on.
justifiable. Okay, so I must save it.
No. You say it, and then we'll get his.
Okay,
take.
yeah. Get his take, please, because I wasn't there personally, but this is from like everyone who was there told me the same story, and the person that was involved, the people that were involved, told me the story. So I don't know what so there was this joke. I can't remember. So it was back at the farm. This one weekend because it was for our friends, mutual friends, going away party. But there was this joke that Cade believed for some reason that, I don't know if this is true even, but Cade believed for some reason that he thought all chicken eggs were fertilized. And people, obviously, some of our friends are making fun of him for it. And one of our friends said it on the last day, or I think it was the second to last day. And you know, have you guys met Cade in person?
Yeah.
You know how he like gets a bit physical with you? Has he got physical with you?
No, not with me.
Okay.
No, he hasn't.
So
got
what Cade did to our one friend, who has so Cade, from this is from what I've been told, like a collection of sources, because this really upset me when I heard it. Our one mutual friend, I'm not gonna say his name, has got a back problem that he makes pretty well known, but so Cade got really upset at this joke, and he had enough. Well, I think he had enough, and so he basically kicks the dude in the back. Apparently I've heard different stories. Like one story says he did a run-up kick, and when he just kicked him in the back. I don't know what kind of kick it was, but this guy has a slip disc. He's got fucked up back problems, and so this guy falls over, stands up, explains this to him, and then gets really upset. And then Cade did nothing. He did not take responsibility. He didn't apologize. From every source I've heard, he didn't apologize. And then I was like, did he take responsibility for it? Did he say anything for it? Did he say, "Oh, sorry, I messed up"? No. He justified that action, and I got really upset about that.
Well,
because that's a mutual friend of ours.
did he?
I don't know his side. I don't know his side of the story.
Okay.
Full.
Well, we'll
That's
be sure to
just
get
just
it.
from what I heard. That's just from what I heard.
I don't think it would be like Cade to justify that action, but I definitely think that knowing Cade the way I do is that if anything, my assumption there would be that he did it, felt bad, but was almost too embarrassed to apologize. If like, because you know, there's just some things that someone does, and you're like, oh fuck, I look really dumb right now. I look really dumb, and you're like, oh, do I apologize and admit my stupidity, or like do it? It's like this awkward decision. You're fighting yourself in your head so much you forget that like there's actually someone else that deserves an apology.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I've talked to this mutual friend, and they almost got into a fight. Well, he almost beat up Cade basically. But another friend broke them up, and those two friends, the one that broke them up and the one that got kicked, have not forgiven him. From what I've heard, from what they've told me, have not forgiven him for the fact they're not mad at him for the fact that he did something dumb and kicked them in the back. They're mad at him because he hasn't apologized to them and he hasn't taken responsibility for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's rough.
that is rough. But we'll have to get Kate's side of the story because
Just disclaimer. That's just from what I've heard and gathered from sources.
yeah, I know. We're not gonna hold you accountable for your
This
words here.
this isn't my eyewitness. This is my eyewitness.
Allegedly.
Alleged.
Don't worry. Everything mentioned in this podcast is all allegation and
Yeah.
hearsay.
Indeed.
At the very least.
Do not use us as evidence in court.
We'll put a disclaimer at the beginning of every single podcast episode where it's like everything said and mentioned in this podcast is hearsay and allegations.
I cannot wait for the day that someone's sitting in court and have to listen to us talk about fan fiction for 45 minutes before they get to hear about the assault. Alleged assault.
The alleged assault, of course. Yeah.
Honestly, at any rate, episode 2 is looking spicy.
I think this is sort of. I think episode 3 is going to be spicy.
Watch that.
I hope. I pray. Yo, if episode 3 happens, like the idea for episode 3 at least.
Episode 3, the climax.
I'm on board.
Yeah. So, Cameron, tell me something just to change topic quick.
Yeah.
We've spent like a good portion of this talking about Kate, which is
Yep.
fair. But so, do you have a PC now?
I have a laptop. I can confirm I am in the process of building a PC.
That's building it yourself or getting it built?
I'm building it myself.
Oh, nice.
Well, my friends giving me one of my friends one of the guys I met in college has given me like a website to get them off of, and he's giving me like tips on how to build it. And
nice.
Nice.
Well, if you want a tip from me, my experience is that you may as well just get them to build it for you, because it's like such a mission to build it yourself. I've tried just moving my hard drive to a different slot, and that was like 4 hours of fucking hard work. I was like, Jesus Christ, why is this? Because like if you figure out that they tie cables down, and you're like, oh my god, you gotta find the cable tie.
Yeah. Well, I'm not in the process of where I've got the parts yet. I have started collecting, like I've started saving money to buy the parts. But I will consider building a PC because it's gonna make my content so much better.
Is your laptop...
Get an OnlyFans. Apparently, that's how people are making money nowadays.
Oh yeah. I mean, no offense, Cameron, but I doubt anyone's gonna pay to see your nudes. No.
Ian, make an OnlyFans for Cameron.
Yeah,
I'll manage you, brother.
No. Ian, you make an OnlyFans and then donate like 10% of the revenue to Cameron. He'd still make bank.
Of course, I'd make bank. Do you know how many people would pay for that shit? Do you know how many people have told me they'd pay for that shit?
I'd be your first customer, thank you. But anyway.
Thanks, my boy. I actually have a whole OnlyFans story regarding my barber, but like we can save that for episodes like 4 or 5.
Please write that shit down for me, please. God.
I don't have to, bro. The PTSD is ingrained into my memory.
Ayo, Uber, you've been kind of quiet this whole stream.
Yeah, it's just how it be.
He's just sitting back and enjoying the soup.
The soup.
Yeah,
Just watching garbage
brother.
I'm not very good at asking questions or responding, so I'll just poke in whenever I have something.
Yeah, you've always been a very good, easy person to pick on. So that's what.
that too.
Can we just mention how on the Discord, it's like when I was very active on it, like I was on that shit like every day for like I'd say a year and a half. And during that period of time, we just bullied someone. Like week after week, it was a new person just getting tuned relentlessly.
Wait, what is this?
The Grande Bolas not the podcast, the Discord server.
Not Los Grande Bolas, Grande Bolas.
Yeah.
What about it?
Like when I was on it,
yeah,
for like extended periods of time, I remember we would all play games at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be on Overwatch, obviously. You'd be on, Matthew would be on CSGO. Cade would be doing nothing. He was talking because he didn't have PC at the time.
But he
And it would be, like, it would be one week we would tune Cade about, was it Cade that would tune about Beth?
Yeah.
And then, like, a week after that, it would be, like, Matthew for doing something stupid. And then it would be you, and then it would be me, and then it would be...
Every third week is tuning Matthew for doing something stupid.
What's new? I miss Matthew.
I don't. I see
What happened to Matthew?
He's still here. We're still all friends. It's just.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh yeah, he died. Corona got him. No.
Nice.
He's just he's just Matthew. I don't think Matthew's really changed like at all. Like Matthew's really like stayed the same since 2016. Matthew, because
That's why we
don't trust me.
he's changed a lot considering where he was, but it relative to like the time he's had to change, he hasn't changed that much. I don't think. I don't.
I
feel
disagree,
like
but we can discuss that on
I
episode
get you.
6, Matthew's episode.
Matthew's
Honestly, no. Every single member of Grande needs their own episode.
Needs an episode where everyone else just questions them for an hour
Yeah.
straight.
But honestly,
Speaking of, how long has this been going on for?
almost 2
almost
hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Gee, no one's gonna listen to this like in full afterwards.
We have 6 viewers at the moment.
Oh, vibes. Is
Yeah.
anyone saying humble brag?
Yeah, one Pooswapper said humble brag, but we're not trying to interact with chat, so yeah.
Oh, but fuck me, that username's hilarious.
Yeah, Pooswapper is a good username, man.
But we'll discuss that on episode 7.
Yeah, Pooswapper
Pooswapper
is our
episode.
Honestly.
Yeah,
I rate we do like, if we actually end up doing this, we can have like sections of the podcast. Like, you know how most podcasts have like segments?
Yeah.
We can do like one where it's talking about the people, one where it's like corrections corner. Like, I said this, but I actually meant to say this, and someone called me out for it.
See, that's good.
And then at the end, we can have like comments. We read the comments from the chat.
Oh yeah, that might.
At the end, you should just apologize for everything you
At the
said
end,
in
we
the
just go, I
podcast.
am so sorry.
Yeah, we take back everything we said. We go back on everything we've stated.
Honestly.
Every point
Just-
we've made, we then like nullify it by saying something else.
And then I just scream, allegedly, at the end.
Allegedly, yeah.
Hold on, I'm plugging in my headphones again.
Yeah, no, it's
Did you have any more questions for me?
I honestly I don't have any preset questions for you, but I have enjoyed talking to you, so I don't really want to end it. I also really want to hit that 2 hour mark. It looks appetizing.
201.
Okay, can we discuss your username? I know that's
My username.
like real small talk, but like
Is it
Yeah.
a Five Nights at Freddy's thing?
it's been
And
Foxxy.
are you
Oh.
a fairy?
Am I a furry? No comment.
That's a yes.
Allegedly.
Cameron is allegedly a fairy.
Listen,
Okay,
buddy, there's nothing
well,
wrong
my
with it.
mascot
Well,
is a Foxman with an eye patch,
I
who
see.
may have been inspired by a Five Nights at Freddy's character, but that's not where the name came from.
No, the name came from
The na-
Xbox.
The name came from my Vespucci. What are they called?
The
The Vespucci,
Animals.
the Vespucci Animals gang name,
Yeah.
and I took the fox part of it, and I just put Captain and another X and a 1 at the end. Nothing, and that's been my username for quite a long time. So that's my channel name.
Fucking stole my username on Xbox. Motherfucker was called something, and then he joined Vespucci Animals out of fucking FaZe Clan, and he was like, "Oh, we're Derpy Fox 52," and I was like, "What the fuck, the bitch? I'm Derpy. Not, no, what the fuck? Get out of here." That is something I regret. Imagine for having fucking Derpy Duck as your whole ass username. Like, I'd cry. I did cry. I stay up at nights thinking that was my name, bro.
Well, we all had an animal back then.
Not
Just
me.
name code.
I was Duck, but there wasn't any Duck Moss. There still isn't any Duck Moss. You were the Fox.
Yeah.
Matthew was Chimp.
Cade was
He
the owl
Snake, but yeah,
because he
yeah.
tried to be Vanos even though he said he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, he did actually just vibe with the owl. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was just the edgy guy who always wore black.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Me.
Oh no, sorry, wasn't I the Indian lawyer or something?
No, that's what you are now. You're not now. You're the Indian lawyer, which is the
What was I
Indian
before?
lawyer.
It's he like somehow managed to make this like because you know like GTA you make a character online
Yeah.
and he just made his character. He was like, yeah, it looks like me, and I was like, no, it doesn't. You look like like I think Matthew was like, you look like an Indian lawyer or something along those lines, and it was the funniest shit. It
I
was just-
never said it looked like me.
Oh well, I don't know what you said it looked like, but we all told you like the fuck out of here. It does like you look like a fucking Indian lawyer? Because I
Fair
don't know
enough.
how you
Vibes.
managed to look at the skin tone and be like, yeah, that's white. Like, no, like the closest you have to white there is like you're fucking I don't know, really dark Greek, if that makes sense.
No, I swear. No, my character isn't he pale? I swear.
No, he's dark as shit, dude. I mean,
I swear that was Xbox.
you have like Freddie Mercury vibes about you, where it's like you look kind of pale, but at the same time, we all know, like, we all know that you're not. Sorry, I just saw what you said in chat. Which one am I? You're obviously the one with the nice hair, which is and has like
Gee,
that big
thanks.
rounded chair. You have the big rounded chair, I reckon.
I appreciate that.
I'm definitely the one on the head of the table because oh wait, what? Hold on, we're having some technical issues.
Such
wait,
as.
what's would you say what's up, Jazz? We're having some technical issues with Cameron. He can't hear anything. I think he just maybe disconnected. Discord's been pretty ass this
Did he
recently.
try turning it off and on again?
Can you hear us now? Wait, we can't hear you. This is weird. Fuck. This is not.
Hello? Hello?
Is he even in the? There he is.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Cool. Okay, technical issues resolved. That's perfect. Damn, it doesn't look like we're really gonna fucking hit that 2-hour mark.
Well, how long do you have left?
Well, okay. Why don't you tell us a cool story about
How
Cool
long
story.
until the 2-hour mark?
How long until the 2-hour mark?
4 minutes. We just
Okay,
need 4 minutes. And we can all just say goodbye. Wait until episode 2.
Cool story. Putting me on the
Why don't we
spot
just all
here.
plug our shit? That'll take 4
Yeah.
minutes.
No, you're
That's a good
fine.
idea.
No one wants to hear your shit plug. Fucking not Cameron. Fucking Ian.
Everyone listen to my SoundCloud.
Oh, how's that actually going?
I've actually, well, I haven't, so I haven't released anything, but I have, like, written about 12
When you say
songs.
written, what does that mean?
Huh?
You mean
I've written and, like, half recorded 12 songs.
like lyrics or what?
Lyrics, music, everything.
Oh,
Well, what's
shit.
it called? What's your SoundCloud called? SoundCloud.
I actually need to check. I think it's just Mads, just like everything else, MADDZ.
MADDZ. Nice.
Or Your Boy Ian, but I think I'm gonna go universal with the Your Boy Ian thing since that's what most people know me from.
Yeah, you're a boy.
So I'm gonna change my Instagram, my SoundCloud, everything.
Yeah.
But I don't think I want people being all like associating that with my music. So I don't know.
Well,
Someone's at my door, so I'm gonna go mute for a second. You guys keep
Yeah.
speaking.
Stu, do you want to plug your fucking? Do you want to plug?
I would rather not.
Right, go subscribe to Stewie. At no, it's
Please.
just YouTube. He follows.
I regret that name.
Nah,
Fun fact.
I thought that was you.
Obviously, we have Cameron at Captain Foxxy with 2 X's and then one.
The
at
one.
That's
Okay, I'm back. My sister wanted my charger.
definitely going to be the next up and coming YouTuber in South Africa.
Yeah.
Captain
Oh,
Foxxy.
10 out of 10. Well, I mean, hey, what do we have so far? We have that Grande guy who, not to be rude or anything, he seems annoying from the 2 seconds I've seen him.
Who?
Well, don't we have that one Casper Lee? He's South African, dude.
Oh, and that's quality content.
Is it? I don't know. I don't
No.
watch him, but I'm just saying.
No.
he's big.
Despicable. He was one of those wave of like, I'm attractive. And like, this is me fucking around with my friends, therefore subscribe to my channel.
I'm
Ew.
confused.
He
I
was one
used
of
to think
those
that
people.
Casper Lee and Shane Dawson were the same person.
Well, they're kind of different.
No, but that's like the thing is like, I don't know why, but I never paid any interest to like Shane Dawson.
Well,
Casper Lee.
one's a blonde twink from South Africa that's like 21, I think. And then the other one is the human personification of a grizzly bear that doesn't get out of bed, that has conspiracy theories and a tinfoil hat.
Okay, sorry, well, Shane is honestly my spirit animal.
Everyone goes through a phase of Shane Dawson is my spirit animal, and then about a couple months later, you're like, oh wow, he's actually really annoying.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I haven't watched any of his content in quite a long
neither.
time, but last time I did quite enjoy.
He is funny, I'll give him that, but I don't like the fact that he's always like, oh, I'm so poor. Meanwhile, he walks around with the Louis Vuitton backpack.
I love how this is how we hit the 2 hour mark, talking about Shane Dawson. Like, nice.
Thanks, Shane
Episode
Dawson.
69, Shane Dawson's episode.
Yes.
We sit down with him, we're like, so, tell me about Tanamocho.
Dude, what happened with the cat, bro?
What?
Exactly,
What cat?
the cat thing. I did not fuck my cat. I did not come on my cat. I've never touched any of my cats in an inappropriate way. That thing was fucking hilarious.
Poor
Those
Shane.
copy pastas saved my life. It's the only like old internet kind of thing I really love seeing.
I also love those coffee pastas. I'm not even gonna lie.
I also love the return of "This is for Rachel, you fat white nasty smelling fat bitch."
Stairs, bitch ass. I love that one.
Okay, can we start wrapping this up?
Yeah, we
Because
can.
I got a video to record. You guys, let me just plug my stuff. You guys can find me at the YouTube channel Captain Foxxy 1, 2 X's. I do mostly gaming. Right now I'm doing mobile gaming because I haven't got my capture card. I also will be uploading reviews and my own podcast and some other fun videos. So catch me over there. And thanks for checking me out.
Cool. Cheers, man. It was really good having you. And
really thanks for having me on.
Awesome,
thanks for having me on. This was an awesome podcast.
Man. So everyone go subscribe to him.
And then go subscribe to Ian's fucking TikTok.
Follow my TikTok.
Yeah, I'll be sure to share this podcast out.
Cool. Thanks,
so people can hear.
Cool. Much appreciated.
Everyone also follow Luke's Twitch.
Yeah, don't follow me.
I don't actually care about the plug. I'll get it eventually. But yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Alright.
It's a good podcast.
Yeah.